not at one edge like how you write your list normally?
It could grow from all sides.
So that the mind map can grow from all sides, right? Okay. Then what about the lines? So the basic rules about the paper that you have to follow: take a plain paper and use it in a landscape format and start at the center. Have your central image and from there you start. What about the lines from the mind that we have seen in the mind maps? They're thick at the base and they taper as you go along. Okay? And so they're thick and they taper as they go along. And what other thing did we see about lines? Each line, each primary branch, each line is called a branch. Each primary branch is to denote a particular idea. So all sub-branches coming out from that branch should all be connected to the same branch. So that's the next law that you have to follow. So you cannot have a free-floating sub-branch. It has to be connected to one of the main branches. Then the next thing is the length of the length of the branch should be equal to the length of the word or the length of the image that you put on that branch. So you cannot have a branch which is long and you have a small word on it. The length of the branch should be equal to the length of the word. As you start drawing mind maps, you will see how you're going to apply all these laws. What about the words? What did we see when we read an entire article, an entire paper? It's only the keywords that we pick up, and we saw that when the entire information that we retain only the keywords. So you should pick only the keywords. You cannot write sentences, and you can have only one word per line. So every branch should have only a maximum of one word. So if you have a big sentence, figure out one word that will depict that sentence, and have only one word per branch. And use keywords, because why do we have to use keywords? We realize that when we're reading something, it's the keywords that we remember. So essentially with a mind map, what are you trying to do? You're trying to feed the brain in the same way brain stores information. Mind map helps you depict all the information that you have in a way which is just similar to the way your brain stores information. So brain stores using keywords, so use only keywords. And you print the word on the main branches. So each keyword that you select have a branch coming out. You cannot have 4 words on a branch. For every word, have a separate branch coming out. What about images? 3-dimensional, you can use symbols. So if you have a particular thing repeating in the entire, suppose I'm mind mapping the hare and tortoise story. All of us have heard of the hare and tortoise story. Can somebody tell that to me? Hare and tortoise story.
For a race, and then hare was like faster, he ran away. The tortoise was slow and steady. Then hare was like way ahead of the tortoise, and he waited around and thought he could have a little nap. And by the time he was still sleeping, the tortoise went and won the race.
And won the race. Fantastic. So, how many times have you used the word hare and tortoise? Almost 4 to 5 times you said the word hare, and another 4 to 5 times the word tortoise. So suppose you have to represent this story on a mind map. You could draw one picture of a hare, one picture of a tortoise, use the same everywhere. So that becomes a symbol for you. And and then you can have a small legend at the bottom which says, okay, this particular symbol, though it doesn't look like a hare, it stands for a hare. Right? If you're good at your drawing, you can actually draw a proper hare and draw it the same way everywhere. So basically this law says you can use a particular symbol to represent something and follow it as a standard all through your mind map. So wherever, suppose like when you're doing your design, your user screens, wherever user logs in, so you have the word user you have so many key entities, right? So each of your entity you could use a picture to represent that entity. All through your mind map, keep using only that picture. So it becomes easier for somebody else to read your mind map. See, it's also important you understand when you create your mind map, you always have to keep in mind that the mind map that you create, you should be able to read it at a later stage. The mind map you create, somebody else also should be able to read it. So that's why when you're using symbols, use a standard symbol everywhere and have a legend at the bottom, which tells what the symbol stands for.
Why lines are thicker initially and then
The lines are thicker, which shows the primary idea, and then they taper as you move ahead. bold, colors, it lays the emphasis. Which is why your primary branches, they're thick at the beginning, and as you go towards your sub branches, your branches taper. Because you want your, because what did we say? The primary branches represent your key ideas. So when you want to store it in your brain, you want to lay emphasis on it. So which is why your primary branches are thick, and the words are written in bold and they're thick. As you go further along, the words taper. So if you look at this, you see the branches? The primary branches, primary attributes that you want to say are all thick. As you move ahead, they all taper. It's clear why we do that? Okay, so we saw about lines, we saw about words. Then image. We're talking about a central strong image. Why do you think we should have a central strong image?
Because that's around the other ideas about it.
All the other ideas that you're thinking of are revolving around your central idea. And how does your brain store information? It's all association with the central idea. So you want your central idea to be strong so that your brain remembers it. It creates a better impression in your brain. So have a central strong image. So typically, if you take your A4 size paper in the landscape format, the central 2/3 portion should be a central image. You have a big, strong central image so that your brain never forgets it. Okay?
What do you mean by this mind map? What do you mean by the central?
This, the mind map loss with the hand and the brush, that's the central image. That's the basic idea that you're talking about, and everything else revolves around it. Yeah, colors, you categorize. Okay, categorize colors. So basically, if you see, every branch uses only one color. All the sub branches of that particular branch, you could have pictures on the branches with different colors. But the primary branch lines, the lines depicting the branches, should all be of the same color. So your branch, primary branch, and all its sub branches should be of the same color. And you can color code. So when you're using mind mapping for decision making, suppose I'm evaluating 3 cars. Okay? What all do you evaluate a car on? 3 cars in the same segment. Okay, tell me 3 cars in the same segment.
Price,
No. Name 3 cars in the same segment that you want to compare. Maruti SX4, Ford Fiesta, and Volkswagen. So if you start, if I want you to compare all these 3 cars, if you're trying to buy a car, you want to compare all these 3 cars. What do you compare them on?
prices.
Price,
Price, mileage.